Good morning, students. Welcome to our online classes. Today we are going to discuss chapter number 10 in geography part, and that is Earth's internal composition and landform. Now we will start with a kind of comparative analysis. If you have ever worked around with peeling in an onion, you would see there are concentric rays similar to the structure of onion. You have the earth entire. So, as you can see, there are different layers which are visible in an onion. When you have in a cross section in similar inside our earth, there are three major layers. The outermost is known as crust. Next to crust is the mantle and the innermost is known as the core. Now each of these, the three which is known as crust, mantle and core, are the further subdivided into two sections, that is the outer layer and the inner layer. We have covered the crust, mantle and core. What can be describing today, it will be briefly understanding components and what are rocks and minerals. Now let us first start crust. As I say, crust is the outermost layer. So when you have the kind of outermost layer that is visible on the earth's surface, which included mountain, plateaus, plants, is known as the crust. Now this crust can be up to two types. I can classify as one is continent or the landmarks, and the another is form of ocean. Now, one which form on ocean is predominated silica and magnesium, and one that form that is continent that is predominated silica and aluminum. At the continent, you have much higher thickness, which is around 35 km in contrast to ocean, which is nearly 5 km deep. However, deep to 35 kilometer and 5 kilometer, as we have seen, crust is considered to be one of the thinnest layer among all the three layers, that is crust, mantle and core. So you have crust which is thinnest of all, and the arrangement is like a zigzag puzzle. So kind of pieces which are fitted together on into the another. As you see the model of plates, let's move into what are rocks and how they are formed. Now, rocks are present on the earth crust, and in simple terms, to define rock, they are natural marks or matter that make up the outer crust of all the upper crust of the earth. They can be definited in the three categories: the size of the rock, the color of the rock, and the structure of the rock. A clean based on these categories, we can define three primary types of rocks: the igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. We will understand one by one in detail. So now the first rock is igneous rocks. These igneous rocks, okay, is a result of volcanic activity. So you have volcano that flows out, and once this magma flowing out solidify here, it would be known as the igneous rocks. These igneous rocks are also known as primary rocks, and again the most important factors here is to understand these igneous rocks could be of two types. There are either inclusive or exclusive. As the name suggests, inclusive means they cool inside the earth's surface, so they are not visible on the earth crust, so they cool very slowly. They form large particle size, and the common example of the granite, which is found inside the earth crust. However, there are certain rocks which come onto the surface, and these deposit on the surface, but they come up to be very fast. They are known as fine granite. They are like fine granite rocks could be seen in the common example of basalt. You can see basalt in Deccan Plateau. So that is what is known as igneous. Okay, so we have understood what is igneous rocks, how they are formed, and the common examples granite and basalt, and a basic classification igneous rocks that is of two types, which is inclusive, which is inside the earth, and exclusive, which is come over the surface of the earth. The next rock is pretty interesting, which is known as sedimentary rock. Now, what happens when you have particles that flows in the river? You have small particles that is deposit towards the side of the river, or you can say when there is a wave action, wind action, you have deposition that occur along the periphery on the agent which they are moving. As a result, they are kind deposited. For example, sandstone is a common sedimentary rock which is seen, and this sandstone is made sand commonly seen in the desert area. Now, Radford in India is a common example when we say of red stand, sandstone. Now, since it is flowing with an agent, it can be water, wind, or wave. Any of the agent it what includes the diverse, and it will also include kind of animals and plants, foils, and could be seen foils, and diverse is the another important con- constituent of the sedimentary rock that are seen. Now the next is metamorphic rock. Now when both the igneous rock and sedimentary rock under high heat and high temperature they are compressed from a longer duration, what happens in the formation would result into a metamorphic rock. So metamorphic rock I can say a resultant of either igneous rocks of the sedimentary rock when they are laid under the high temperature and pressure. A common example is clay being converted into slate. Now this slate is an example of metamorphic rock, and limestone getting converted to marble, which is again an example of metamorphic rock. Again, the common structure which is visible with marble is white marble, which is Taj Mahal. So Taj Mahal is made up of with white marbles from Makrana in Rajasthan. So now all these three rocks, okay, we have discussed, but there is a kind of cycle that operate. Now we will discuss rock cycle transformation. Here you have volcano that erupts out here, and you have solidification of magma. This solidification leads to formation of igneous rocks. So now when this igneous rocks is formed over a time, there is breaking off of that agent of weathering and erosion. You have break up of the rocks occurs, and you have formation of sediment. Now these sediments keep on depositing from the sedimentary rock. Now either the sedimentary rock or igneous rocks under high temperature and pressure would lead to formation of metamorphic rock. Now what would happen once the metamorphic rock formed? It would be compressed to a point that it's become a translate to a kind of melting state, and the melting state would again from core for the magma and the eruption of volcano, and this cycle keeps on continuity, and therefore I can say rock cycle is mainly a transformation from one rock structure to another rock structure. Now, when we are clear about the rock structure and rock cycle, what we must know minerals in simple term, I can say rock contain minerals, and these are naturally occurring substances that are present in the rocks. There are two major properties that you must know. For minerals, they have certain physical properties. That the first important thing, and they have kind of definite chemical composition that can be seen. Now there are various minerals which can used for various purpose. For example, I can say minerals which are used as fuels. A common example are coal, petroleum and natural gas. When we say minerals are used in industries, it is iron, aluminum, nickel, so and so. And when I say minerals which are used in medicines or fertilizer, can be phosphorus, magnesium, and calcium, which is mainly used in the medicine. So, these are some of the common minerals that are used, and we have talking about the minerals and their application and the two important properties of the minerals. First of all, certain physical properties, they have certain physical characteristic of physical properties and define chemical composition they can seen for the minerals. Hope this part is clear. We will discuss the next topic in the next class. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.